Good morning, everyone. We will start the call. US markets were down 1.5% yesterday. Asia is down around 0.8 to 1% this morning, while the dollar and treasury yields jumped as investors pared back expectation of the pace and scale of rate cuts by the Federal Reserve this year. The latest shift in rate expectation came after an upside surprise in US inflation yesterday, which showed that CPI has increased by 3.1% on YOY basis compared to forecast of 2.9% increase. Consensus expectation for the quantum of rate cut this year has come down from 160 basis points at the start of the year to around 87 basis points as of today. US 10-year yield increased to a 2-month high at around 4.33%. I will now invite the technical team to take the call forward.
Thank you, Jihan. Good morning, all of you. This is Swati. Today, the market is likely to open with a gap down, and we're likely to witness some sort of a profit booking at the higher levels. Yesterday, we have seen that the Nifty manages to take a support of 21,500 level, and we have seen a reversal from there onwards, almost about by 200 points. But today, since we are getting a gap down opening, the selling pressure is likely to be intensified if Nifty goes below 21,500 levels. Any more about that level, we expect more selling pressure, which might take a Nifty towards 21,460 to the 21,370 levels on the downside, whereas the resistance is placed at around 21,840 and 21,900. The view will remain cautious as long as Nifty sustains below the mentioned resistance level. Coming towards the Bank Nifty, for today intraday purpose, 46,160, 46,600 are the two crucial resistance level, whereas the support is placed at around 45,160, 44,580 levels. Coming towards the Fin Nifty, 20,060, 19,860 are the support levels we need to keep eye on it. On the higher side, the resistance is placed at around 20,410. 20,550 levels. The view on the market will remain cautious because on every rise we are witnessing selling pressures. We request clients to trade each and every transaction with the strict stop losses. That's it from my end. I request Niro to take a call forward.
Yeah, thank you, Swati. On the derivative front, see, the data is more or less the same. We are opening gap down today. But 21,500 will hold a good support area for Nifty. We are seeing more built up around the 21 400 300 and 21,000 strikes as well. So that does suggest that if 21 500 is broken, we might fall further up to the 21,000 odd levels in the next few days. So that is an important thing. So your stop loss should be 21 500 for longs. From the stock specific front, more or less, the stocks did come up yesterday. Most of the stocks were down day before, and some buying came in. And even for today, when we open down, there is likelihood that some short covering action should come in most of the stocks. Today, IT stocks will be under pressure. But the others like pharma and oil and gas should give good support. So these are the stocks to focus on at this point of time. One can look to buy on dips for these 2 3 sectors like pharma and oil and gas. Yeah, so that's it from my side. I like to ask the fundamental team to take over.
Yeah. On the result side, Siemens result is marginally above expectation. Revenue growth was at 20% year-on-year. EBITDA margin came at 12.4% in line with estimate, and last year it was 15%. Profit increased by 10% year-on-year. We are positive. BHEL result has disappointed. Revenue was up 5% year-on-year and was 6% below expectation. EBITDA margin came at -1% versus expectation of positive 2%. And similarly, profit expectation was 18 crore, but the company delivered net loss of 163 crores. Order book has also come down from 1,14,000 crore last quarter to 1,08,000 crores. So we are neutral on BHEL. Couple of IPOs will be listing today. Capital Small Finance Bank, where we had given neutral rating. The bank is primarily focused on secured lending, which is 100% of the AUM, and focused on middle income customer with average ticket size of 13 lakhs. Main products are agri loans, where mostly loans are given to farmers for purchasing agricultural products. MSME loans and mortgage, which is housing and LAP. The fully secured nature of loan book has resulted in lower yields and lower NIMs for the bank. And that's why the bank is not able to make a meaningful ROA. ROA stands at just 1.2, 1.3% compared to 2.5, 3% for listed companies like Utkarsh and Ujjivan. So that's why we had a neutral kind of view on the company. So expect flattish kind of opening. Another IPO which is opening is Jana Small Finance Bank. Over here also we had given neutral rating. The bank is similar to existing SFBs like Ujjivan, Suryoday, Utkarsh, where MFI is the largest segment. But in case of Jana, the MFI segment mix is at 43% compared to listed peers mix of 70% for MFI. Among other products, the bank has MSME, LAP, and housing, each forming 15% mix. So because of the higher secured nature of the book, credit cost, credit cost has been elevated despite the higher secured nature, and NIM has been much lower than peers. And that's why in this case also the ROE that bank has delivered is just 1.6% compared to peers who are doing 2.5 to 3% ROA. And that's why the discounted multiple of 1.5 times trailing price to book is justified compared to around 1.9 times for listed peers. So expect a flattish opening over here also. Thank you.
Good morning. On the result front, KRBL Limited result has declined. Revenue degrew by 6.4% on a YY basis. This was largely due to decline in export revenue by 47% on a YY basis. The domestic revenue grew by 14%. Overall gross margins were impacted during the quarter due to lower exports and with higher input cost of basmati rice and additional provisions made during the quarter. Gross margins declined at 24.8% and versus 29.3% in the last year same quarter. EBITDA margin reported at 12.4% versus 18.2%. The stock is trading at a PE of 13 times to TTM EPS, and we are neutral on the stock. Deepak Nitrite Limited posted the results marginally below expectations. Revenue grew flat at rupees 2009 crore, and EBITDA margin reported at 15.2% versus the expectation of 17.6%. The stock is trading at a PE of 27 times to FY25 EPS, and we will provide the outlook post its earnings call. Galaxy Surfactants Limited had posted the results the day before yesterday, and yesterday there was a con call. The result was below expectations. The revenue degrew by 13% on a YY basis. If we look at the volume growth, it stood at 8.4%, which was above the guided range of 6 to 8%. And volume growth sustained in India and AMET region. During the quarter, performance surfactants grew by around 2%, and specialty care segment grew by 21% on a YY basis. EBITDA margin reported at 12%. The management highlighted that EBITDA per metric ton stood at 18,781 per metric ton, which was below the guided range of 19,500 to 20,500. This was largely impacted by certain one-offs, like it has realized export incentives in the last year, same quarter, which was not realized in the quarter 3. And it has spent capex worth rupees 90 crore in first 9 months, and it has planned for overall 130 to 150 crore of capex for FY24. Also, the similar size of capex is expected for FY25. Also, it has highlighted North America is showing recovery in volumes, while it expects rest of the regions are also showing the recovery signs. The management expects FY25 should see overall contribution to its growth. So we are positive on the stock. Thank you.
Good morning. Eicher Motor result is marginally above expectations as revenue grew by 1.6% on quarterly basis and 12.3% on yearly basis. EBITDA margin came at 26.1% versus expectation of 25.9%. As per the management, the company is also experiencing robust demand for the new Himalayan 450 and Shotguns 650 motorcycles. It sees huge potential for growth, particularly in the rural areas. Retail demand remains strong, and company anticipates a recovery in wholesale over next 6 to 9 months. Exports have been affected, by latest being the Red Sea disruption. Overall, it sees weak global sentiments. It is also optimistic about the future growth of EV technology, and it is planning to launch an EV model under the Himalayan brand in the market by first quarter of calendar year 25. At present, the stock is trading at PE of 27.1 times of FY24 EPS. Bosch result is above expectation as revenue grew by 15% on yearly basis, and EBITDA came at 578 crores versus expectation of 486 crores. EBITDA margin stands at 13.8%. This growth is driven by increasing demand mainly in the passenger car and HCV segment. At present, the stock is trading at PE of 48 times of FY24 EPS. Thank you.
Commodities team can take over.
Yeah, thank you, Jian. Good morning, everyone. So in today's session, there could be some correction and in gold and silver especially. So selling on rise is recommended. Gold one can initiate a sell around on a bounce back around 61,700 to 800 and maintain a stop loss of 62,000. On downside, 61 for 200, 61 100 is the level we are eyeing for. And for a pullback, one can also buy from 61,100 and maintain a stop loss of 60,900. In silver, we are expecting prices to test 69,000 to 68,700 on downside. So if any pullback till 70,000, one can go short. And in crude oil, the positive momentum is there, and buy on depth strategy should be applied. So buying around 64.30 is recommended, and maintain a stop loss of 63.50. On upside again, prices are resisting 65.30, 65.40 on upside. So profit booking is advisable and on higher end. If we witnessed a closing above the same, then further rally is expected. So all in all, looks positive. Natural gas prices are expected to consolidate from 135 to 150. So there could be some pullback as prices are in the oversold territory, and some pullback till 145, 150 is expected. In copper, we are expecting prices to test 703, 702 levels on downside. So prices are resisting the higher end zone. Yesterday, we witnessed 713 to 14 where prices were resisting. So selling around 710 is recommended with a stop loss of 714. And zinc also, we are expecting weakness below 208 level. So as long as it is holding below 208, we are expecting prices to test 204, 203 on downside. So that's it from me. I'll ask Utkarsh to take the call forward.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning, all of you. For today's trading session in USD we are expecting some sideways to bullish momentum. So for intraday purpose, one can initiate a long positions if we get any pullback around 83.10 to 83.11 levels with a strict stop loss of 83.06 for the target of 83.20 and 83.25 levels. And on the higher side, one can initiate a short positions around 83.25 to 83.26 levels with a stop loss of 83.35 for the target of 83.09, 83.17 and 83.08 levels. In GBP INR, one can initiate a long positions if prices breaks the level of 104.90 with a stop loss of 104.68 for the target of 105.18 levels. Thank you.